Hey man, what's up?
Hey,
How you
dude.
doing? What's going on?
Not much, to be honest with you. Today was my day off, so I'm just chilling. Did you have today off?
Nah, man. You know what? I just got home actually a couple minutes ago. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, we don't have to get together tonight. I mean,
No, I'm excited to see you guys for sure. No. Yeah. And Jeff said that he's going to be able to pick you guys up, but he needs to know what time. Like when do you guys think you'll be ready?
Okay, cool. Hey, Jeff's picking us up. Yeah. What movie are we gonna watch tonight?
Whichever movie you want. It doesn't really matter to me. No.
Yeah. Okay, listen.
Yeah. And so I was texting with Jeff. He's able to come pick you guys up, but he wants to know when are you guys going to be ready? Like you guys need like an hour, 30 minutes. Like what's it going to be?
Who the fuck is that standing behind you?
What?
Is that Mark? Because if Mark's gonna be there, I'm not fucking showing up. Can't fucking stand that guy. Fuck, he pisses me off. He made a pass at Linda the last time we got together.
Dude, fuck off. I know it's Halloween and shit, but no. There's nobody here. Wait, shh. Hold on.
Alright. right now. Maybe I didn't see anybody, all right? Okay? But I'm telling you, if he fucking shows up, he made a pass at Linda the last time.
Would you care to dance? It's good. Oh, good.
Don't ask me to stay. Don't think you got it made. No, you're wrong. 'Cause you can't make it anymore. I know what you're waiting for. I should turn away and walk right out that door because I know.
Knock, knock, dude, we're here. Sorry we're late. The cops got the whole street cordoned off in front of your building, by the way.
Better not be here, man. I'll fucking punch him in the face.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? Yeah, come on in. Make yourself at home. I'll be right with you.
Dude, you were watching Friday the 13th Part 4. That's amazing. Joint in your balcony.
Guys, you would not believe I had the craziest dream.
We are on, ladies and gentlemen. The day today is Friday, September the 28th, 2018, and we are celebrating 12,000 subscribers here tonight, today, this morning, wherever you are around the world. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you tuning in. Now, as I like to do at the beginning of live broadcasts, is there an echo? There should not be an echo. I should sound fine. There should be no echo, right? Right? Just give me a no. Just say no. No echo. No. Great. Perfect. Okay, that's all I need. Whew, that's all I need to know. Hey, 12,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. It's insane. I mean, it's not insane in the big picture, but I think what's so insane about it for me, before I get to your questions here, is like I have said on a few occasions, I've had this YouTube channel for 12 years, but I only started to put my face out there about a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, I had about maybe 900 subscribers. 1,000. Maybe it was over 1,000, but it wasn't that much over 1,000. Now we're at over 12,000, and since June, since the first trailer for Halloween 2018 dropped at the beginning of June, I've doubled my subscribers. At the beginning of June, I had 6. Now I have 12 in like 3.5 months. That's insane. That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy for me. I mean, it's just like, wow, it's not big in the big picture, but it's kind of cool. So I have all you guys to thank for that. I really do appreciate it, sincerely. I say this quite a bit, and I can't speak for anybody else, but I think you guys are awesome. Yeah, we're talking anything today. It's an AMA. It's an AMA with a little bit of a caveat, just a little bit of thing in there, is that I can't spoil Halloween 2018 for you. I can't do that. I won't do that. So just keep that in mind before you ask a Halloween 2018 question, that it's entirely possible I may be like, and it's nothing personal. I just want you guys to, I want it to be fresh. All right, so let's go over to the chat room now and see what you fine folks are saying. And as usual, if I don't answer your question, it's nothing personal. We have 127 people watching right now. It's nothing personal. It's just that a lot of questions tend to go by, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to be thorough, so I take a little bit. So it's nothing personal. All right. Let's see if we can see what we got here. Let's scroll down. People saying no echo. That's good stuff. Movie chat and more. Yes, movie chat and more says, hey Dave, were you saddened by the death of the iconic Burt Reynolds, and did you know he turned down the role of Han Solo? I did know he turned down the role of Han Solo. Was I saddened by the death of Burt Reynolds? Well, I think I can't say that I was saddened by the death of Burt Reynolds, but I certainly took pause, because it's just another example that the era we're in now, and something that we all have to remember, is that, I hate to say this, but, some legends that we've grown up with in our time are on the tail end of their lives, whether it's Burt Reynolds, whether it's Sylvester Stallone, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, whether it's Harrison Ford, over the next 10 years or so, maybe even before that, some iconic legends in the world of cinema may or may not be with us anymore. And it's cyclical. This always happens. It happened sort of in the 70s and the 80s, when a lot of the golden era stars were sort of on their way out, right? And there was a lot of deaths, with them. And now we're sort of at that point again where some legends that are going to be passing. So I can't say that I was saddened, because although I like Burt Reynolds, I was never really into Burt Reynolds, but I certainly took pause and I thought, oh yeah, Burt Reynolds. There you go. Wow. All right. Who's next? You know what I mean? So good question though. Okay, let's go back here. Scrolling. All right. Dylan, right? Is it Dylan? If it's Dylan, I've never seen it spelled that way before. Or maybe I have. Rackle? What's up, Dave? Congrats on the 12,000 subs. Will you be going to the Halloween 2018 convention? If so, which day will you be going? Yes, I am going to the Halloween 2018 convention in Pasadena, California. I'm actually going to be in Los Angeles doing some voiceover work, and the week after the convention. And so I'm killing two birds with one stone. So I'm really excited about it. Not only do I go to LA to do some VO work and get paid, which is great, I also get to go to the convention. So that's really cool. I am going. I just purchased a weekend pass. I didn't get the VIP, because I just was like, I don't really, it's no offense to the hardcore fans, but there's a lot of things I don't really care about when it comes to Halloween. No offense to those people, of course. It's just, I don't need to do all the VIP stuff and get all in there and do all that. Awesome if you want that, and awesome if you see value in that. I think that's great. For me, I just was like, I'll just get a weekend pass. So I got the weekend pass. I can't promise that I'm going to be there on both days, but I got the weekend pass just so I had that option. But I will definitely be there on the Saturday. Okay, Saturday the 13th, I believe. Ooh, Saturday the 13th. Anyway, that's the day I will be there for sure. Okay, Darth Vader the Boss. These names. We have new subscribers that I'm seeing here. What would your reaction be? I'm assuming you meant. What would your reaction be if John Carpenter was at your doorstep? Well, Literally at my doorstep, I think it would all depend on why the hell he's at my doorstep. Is he looking for loose change? Is he there because he's homeless and he needs a place to stay? Is he there because he's senile and he's suffering from dementia and he got lost and he ended up in Toronto, Canada on my doorstep? And it's like, John, what are you doing here? I think what you mean is if he was on my doorstep asking me to join forces, and I think I just spat there. I'm gonna be spitting a lot here today because I was talking. If he was on my doorstep looking to collaborate, that'd be amazing. I'd be like, John, come on. I'd love to have a conversation with John Carpenter because I think I could get to John. Stuart Johnson says, Dave, killing Rachel so early in Halloween 5 is probably the worst decision in the series. I think Halloween 5 is the worst decision in the series, but certainly killing Rachel early on in Halloween 5 just was, just added to the shit show that is Halloween 5. So yeah, no, I agree. It was about, would Halloween 5 have been better had Rachel not died? Yes, but if the movie was still the same and it was still the same narrative and they still had all the stupid shit around that, it would have made it a little more manageable because Rachel was on screen, so you had somebody you could care about and root for. But at the end of the day, if it's still the same movie and it ends the same way, right? But I get what you're saying. Good question. Okay, is it Kai? K-A-I? Hey, Dave, loved your latest short. Thank you. What info can you give us on your next short if you have one in the works? I don't have one in the works immediately, but Bruce and I had such a fun time doing that we've thought about getting together, if our schedules can manage it, to do more things like that. And not always Halloween related. I mean, Halloween's always fun to do because the material just sells itself and it's already there. And I got the mask, got the jumpsuit, got the knife. You just need, a creepy location. I know the series and how to execute the shots so well. And Bruce is a filmmaker as well, who works in the industry here in Toronto. So, we combined, we have so much experience so to fall back on Halloween is fun to do once in a while. But we would love to do some original shit as well, right? So we've thought about, hey, this could become a regular thing or a semi-regular thing. We can't make any promises. We don't want to set unrealistic expectations. But we've thought about, hey, maybe on a weekend that we have available, maybe we could get together and shoot something and go back and forth on who handles the post-production. I did all of the post-production on this most recent one, which was crazy. 22 hours. I mean, just insane. But we wanted to get it done quickly and see if we could do it, which we did. But yes, we've certainly tossed around the idea of doing more like that. Shooting, not even using our pro gear, just sort of shooting on our phones and see what we can do, right? Okay, scrolling down. The Badass Ninja says, are you going to see the movie Hellfest? Probably not. I will see it eventually. I hate to say it, guys. It takes a lot for me to go to a movie theater to see a horror movie. You probably heard me say this in a recent video, and this is very true. I'm paraphrasing John Carpenter, but he's absolutely right. The vast majority of horror movies, the vast majority of horror movies suck. They do. They suck. They suck. They absolutely do. When you look at all of the horror movies, the vast majority of them are garbage. Now, there's fewer than that, okay? There's some that are not bad. Okay, not bad. There's even fewer than that are pretty good. And then there's only a small basketful, if that are fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean really amazing. I don't mean pretty good. I mean amazing. So, for me to go see I didn't go see Slender Man. I don't fucking care. I didn't go see The Nun. I don't fucking care. It looks like garbage to me. The Nun, I'm not surprised that, everyone's like, oh, it's kind of good. Well, yeah, it looked like ass. Why'd you go see it? Same with Slender Man. It looked like garbage. I had no interest in going to see it. It looked like a pile of shit. And it was. And I haven't seen it. But people told me it was a pile of shit. I'm like, yeah, I know. It looked like a pile of shit. So for me to actually go see a movie, I'm not saying Hellfest looks like a pile of shit, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me to actually spend the money, go to the movie theater, see it, it's really, call it what you want, too picky, high expectations, but there's just so much garbage out there that when I go watch a horror movie, I want to be like, oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be a classic, but it's got to be like, oh, that was, and so many of them are just so much, they're just ass. So I'll probably catch it on, unless it gets rave reviews. I mean, rave reviews. Oh, maybe I'll think about going to, pay the $12 to go see it, but I'll probably catch it when it comes out on Netflix. Okay, Jason Redux says, have you seen the Nicolas Cage film Mandy? No, I have not. Those movies are, it's funny. I find those kind of movies, I'm not really into those kind of films, and I'm not saying it's not a good movie or it won't be good. Like I watched the movie, what was that one that he did? Mom and Dad, was it, or whatever? I watched that one. I was like, it's hard for me to get into Nicolas Cage anymore. And I saw the trailer for Mandy, and I was like, yeah, it looks, interesting, and it's Nicolas Cage, but it just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. And sometimes that's okay to say. Folks, sometimes it's okay to say, I don't know. And I look at it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Nicolas Cage right now and this kind of a movie, and I don't know. It looks interesting, I guess. Nathan Oswald. Hey, Nathan Oswald, you're a patron, I believe. Nathan Oswald. Oh, God, I just lost your place there, Nathan. We're scrolling like crazy here. 1 second. I'm going to try and go back here and see if I can find you. Okay. Nathan, I'm so sorry. I think I lost your spot. Let me go all the way back here. Oh, there you are, Nathan. Okay, did the music in Halloween 2018 work well for you? Yeah, I mean, in my blurb that I posted on Twitter, I said music vintage JC. So, what does that mean, right? Well, come on, read between the lines. Now, again, for those of you that are looking for my review, you are going to get it the weekend the movie comes out. Probably, I was thinking about posting it Saturday. I won't post it Friday because I'm flying back from Hollywood on that day. So I'll probably post it the Sunday. Leave the Friday and the Saturday so, a lot of people have a chance to see it, because not everybody goes opening night. A lot of people will definitely go and go back on Saturday. I might even go see it again that weekend, depending on what happens for the review, because, I've let things marinate, but to sort of make sure that I have my review right, I may need to see the film again to make sure that, okay, I've got everything, down correctly. And because obviously by that time it will have been 6 weeks since I saw it, and what's happening is I'm actually writing my review down, and I'm going to record my thoughts in my voiceover booth over here against the backdrop of some pretty cool locations and stuff. So I promise you guys that it will be worth it. But I might need to brush up on a few scenes to kind of make sure that I'm correct on some certain stuff, and, we'll see how it goes. But look for my review that weekend for sure. And like I said, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, I'm not here to toe the party line. I'm going to tell you what I liked. I'm going to tell you what I didn't like. I'm going to tell you if I liked the movie. I'm going to tell you if I didn't like the movie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, I mean, I don't pull any punches here. All right. So, if you're looking, if you thought it was amazing and you're coming to me to look for me to say, I think it's amazing, don't come to me for that. I'm not saying that I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying that don't come to me looking for that. Right. Because come to me looking for my brutal honesty and honest thoughts on the film. Okay. So, but that's not spoilery. I can say all that because I've been saying all that for the last, month and a half now in regards to how I plan to do my review. Okay, let's scroll down here. Amstel54 says, what character in history of cinema would you most like to voice? Oh, probably a few, but I'd love to be able to do Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck is my favorite Looney Tunes character, and I'd love to be able to do Daffy Duck's voice. That'd be a lot of fun. I can't, but I would love to be able to do it. Mr. Dracanator? Is that something from a game? I don't know. I probably butchered that fucking name. Dave, have you seen the Phantasm series? If so, what did you think of it? I have not seen the first one. Like I think I saw the very first movie years ago. If you talk about the movies, but I haven't seen any of the series though. So, Danny Undead says, "Congrats on the 12K, Dave. You're absolutely amazing." Oh well, thank you very much, Danny. I appreciate that. We have 155 people watching right now. That's pretty cool. Okay, Rocky Voorhees says, Creed 2 or Halloween 2018? I have no idea. I haven't seen Creed 2 yet. Tyler Winters, how old are you? I'm 39. I'll be 40 next May. Noah Honda says, anybody need my collaboration? I guess he's talking to people in the chat room. Anthony Stanfeld says, how interesting did you find JJC after listening to his interview and how he got into the Shapes role? Yeah, I read that article. I also read the article on HalloweenDailyNews.com back in March or April, I think it was. I also read that the interview he did with them, and it was now the interview he did that appeared just a week or so ago, that was pretty intense as well. But the one with Halloween Daily News was very intense and very in-depth as well. It was pretty much more of the same. I already knew a lot of the things that he was talking about. They were just said in a different way from the article several months ago. So yeah, I think it's great. I can't wait to see him at the convention in Pasadena, and I look forward to maybe getting a chance to meet with him and maybe even share some words. We'll see. Rich Moore, congrats on the milestone. Now onward to 50K. Yeah, we'll see. I have no idea how high this thing's going to go. I'm still amazed because, like I said, I don't really review movies on this channel. I've gained these 12,000 subs by just giving my thoughts and commentary. So that's kind of cool. We'll see where it goes. I think we're closing in on 12,200 now or something. So I think that's awesome. Gary Walker says, hey Dave, do you have plans on doing a Friday the 13th fan film? No plans, but you never say never. Drew Fit Coaching says, Rachel was cool. Tina was annoying as fuck. Yes, she was. The Dawn says, thoughts on Phoenix. Oh, River Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, I got the right family. Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I love the look. I love it. There was never anything. I love it. I was like, yeah, it's great. Now keep this in mind. I am not a hardcore comic book nut. Okay. I don't know the universes. I mean, I know the movies in the sense of I know what movies are coming out, and I know that there's a Marvel cinematic universe and there's a DC cinematic universe and there's Marvel and DC's fucked up and Marvel's been successful, and I've seen, a couple of their movies. And I mean, I can talk sort of on a basic level, like a 101 about these characters and their universes, but I am not an expert. So I am not emotionally attached to any of these characters. So when I look at Joaquin Phoenix, who's a brilliant actor, dressed as the Joker, I'm like, oh, that looks great. Yeah, totally. And I can only imagine him bringing his, what he does to the Joker character. The potentiality of that sounds fucking amazing, And so I look at him, I'm like, yeah, I love it. Whereas a hardcore fan might look at it and see details that I don't see, right? They might be like, well, yeah, but you don't understand because it's a cross between this Joker and that Joker, and we know that this is, and they go on and on. I'm like, oh, I didn't even like, I watched Batman v Superman, and I didn't think it was a good movie, but I watched and I was like, yeah, all right. I was entertained, but I'm not emotionally attached to the universes and the characters and the subplots and the intricate details and this, that, and the other. I can recognize from a filmmaking perspective that, yeah, this could have been a lot better. But I was like, I was entertained. I didn't hate it like a lot of people did, right? But I am emotionally attached to the Star Wars universe. So when I went and saw The Last Jedi, well, yeah, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, well, no, it's got to be like, you did this and this. And again, that had nothing to do with fanboy expectations, So anyway, I'm going on here, but that's sort of where I'm coming from. I thought he looked cool, and I can't wait to see his rendition of the Joker. But that's just me. Funk Master says, congratulations, Dave, on 12,000 subscribers. If you hear that squeak, it's my chair. I watch all your videos and enjoy them all. Well, thank you very much, Funk Master. Frank Riker says, hey, Dave, if you were trying to capture Michael, which series character would you take as a partner except Loomis? Ooh. Well, I think Laurie Strode is your default. I think that would be cool to take Laurie. But I also think... I don't know. Maybe just for shits and giggles, I'd take that character from the beginning of Halloween 4. The guy that's basically giving you the catch-up exposition of what's happened over the last 10 years. The guy at the sanitarium. Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place. I think I'd take him along. Why not? Take him. We'll write it out together. Okay, Troy, Halloween 2018. No spoilers. Just really want to know if you truly recommend it. I can't tell you if I recommend it or not, and I know that's going to bother many of you. But that if I tell you I recommend it, well, then that means I enjoyed it, right? Because why would I recommend something that I thought was a fucking shit show? So I can't tell you that. Okay, because that in and of itself, the recommendation could be perceived as a spoiler. Because, and folks, the reason why I have decided to... Again, you know, there's the reason of I want you guys to go in as pure as possible, but I know a lot of you guys look up to me in terms of what I have to say about the series and the franchise, and you really want to know what I think, because maybe our thoughts, you know, align, maybe we're sort of on the same page, maybe we're, you know, not always on the same page, but you respect my thoughts and my views, and you really want to know. So what I say matters. It carries weight for some of you, not all of you. I mean, I'm sure there's some trolls in here that are like, fuck off, Dave. Whatever, right? But I know there are at least some of you that actually care about what I have to say. There's some weight behind that. So I don't want to put any preconceived ideas and notions into your head before you've had a chance to see it. And then when you've had a chance to see it, then we can talk about it. So, yeah, I can't, I'm sorry. I'd love to be able to answer you, but I just can't right now. Okay. Ari says, Dave, who are your favorite actors, actresses, and why? Well, my favorite actor is Harrison Ford. I don't think he's the best actor in the world, not by a long shot, but I think he's my favorite actor. He is a bona fide movie star. He's one of the last movie stars that I think we'll probably ever have. You know, he's up there. I mean, he comes from that era of your Tom Hankses and your Tom Cruises, and Tom Cruise is the last one too. I mean, people used to go to the movies to see the actors. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody's going to the theater to necessarily see Bradley Cooper. It's not to say that he's not a good actor, but people went to the movies to see these people, you know, and we're not in that era anymore. You know, it doesn't matter. And you know, which is not a bad thing necessarily, because the most important thing about a movie is its story. But yeah, I think, yeah, anyway, that's a whole other thing. But Harrison Ford would be my favorite actor. I go classic. I love Tom Hanks. You know, there's not too many young guys although I will say that he's not really young. He's a few years older than me. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's just such an amazing actor. He's brilliant. He's convincing in everything he's in. I buy everything he's in. And say what you want about Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise is convincing in every role he's in. I buy that he is that person. I buy it. Totally. He's a good actor. You know, he's got some stuff on the side, but he's a good actor. Actresses, that's a tougher one. I'm not really sure. I mean, growing up in high school, I had a thing for Jennifer Love Hewitt, but that's because I thought she was hot. Actresses, yeah, I have to think on that. There are some that I really admire. Yeah, I got to think on that. Good question, though. Pills. Hello, Dave. Greetings from Holland. Hello, Pills. Hope you're not popping pills. Anyway, Sean Freeman says, hey, Dave, my question to you is, do you alone on getting more... Do I plan, right? Do I plan on getting more Halloween posters? You mean Halloween 2018 posters? Not really. I got that one there. That one was given to me by somebody who works in the film industry for a major Hollywood distributor, and it was very nice of them to pass that over to me. But I haven't seen anything. I mean, that's fine. You know, that looks good. I have a Halloween 1978 poster out in my hallway there. I got a bunch of posters out there, but that one and the Halloween 1978 poster are the only two Halloween posters that I currently own. I mean, maybe I'll pick up a Halloween 2 one day, but certainly not picking up 5 or 6 or H2O. Okay, Sue Alexander. Hey, Sue. I've watched the original Halloween about 3 times in the past few months. Oh, do you watch it regularly? Your recent short film was great. Thank you, Sue. I probably watch it once a year, at the very least. I watch it probably every Halloween. Like, I'll probably watch it, in, another month or so. Yeah, so I watch it at least once a year. It's special. I used to watch it with my mom. My mom has since passed away. Both my parents passed in 2011. And so it's kind of, a tradition. So I'll probably watch it. Like I said, once a year at least. Okay, Noah Honda. Congrats. Thank you, Noah. Rocky Voorhees. Any news on Indy 5? No, the only thing I know is that Jonathan Kasdan, Lawrence Kasdan's son, who helped write Solo, is working on the script. And they were going to start shooting next April. And I'm still surprised that they've moved that with a 2019 release date. Or was it 2020? No, sorry, it was 2020 release date. Now that release date has been pushed to 2021. And I am surprised that they actually pushed it, because I still think they could have made the 2020 release date. I'm kind of surprised by that. Something doesn't feel right. It just is kind of weird. Like, okay, yeah, you had to change writers, but you're still 2 years away. Like, I mean, I know it's a major bona fide blockbuster here, but you could still do it. You could still have a script that everybody loves and still go to camera by next spring. 100%. 100%. I don't understand why they've pushed it. I think personally, I think there's more to it. And remember, this was not now. This was like back in July. And I'm thinking, well, you don't go to camera till next April. You could write a script, go through, a few drafts. I mean, these are pros. It's not like, me taking years to write a script. They can dish out a script in 2 months, if that. By the end of the year, they would have a script that everybody would agree on. And then they go, I mean, maybe they would have to push the start date of production maybe to the summer. But I still think they could make the 2020 release date. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, Christella Floors. I agree about Rachel's death. Congratulations on 12K. Thank you very much. Okay, Warrior for God Prez. What are your thoughts on Phoenix being the new Joker? Actually, I just answered that. I thought he looked great. But then again, you have to keep in mind that I'm not somebody that's really emotionally attached to the superhero Marvel DC universe. So what I might not see or I might not get from an intricate, detailed character perspective, you might be able to teach me things like, you know what, you got to look at that. I'm like, I never. Just at face value, he's a great actor. When I think of him as a potential Joker, I'm like, oh yeah, let's see it. Totally. And when I saw that, I was like, yep, I buy it. Sure. So I thought it looked all right. Okay, Mr. I'm going to butcher again. Dracanator. Dave, have you seen the... Oh, what? I just answered that. I answered that already. Did I go back? Maybe I went back. I answered that. The Wrestling Yoda. Yes. Hellfest is really just a theatrical version of Bloodfest, and they both came out this year. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. K316 says, hey, Dave, I really enjoyed your Halloween Reaper fan film. Both you and Bruce did together. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. That was fun to do. It was all shot on this phone right here. Now, keep in mind that the footage went into post-production. Okay, so obviously there was color correction and there were things that were done to help, polish it up and make it look really nice. But it was all shot on the phone. So there's no excuses now, folks. There's no excuses. Anybody want to shoot a little fan film? You get out there and do it. Okay, let's see here. Kevin Collects. Congrats, Dave. Are you excited for Venom and Halloween? And who are some of your favorite voice actors? Great question. Venom, I'm not really excited for Venom, really. But it's because I'm not really a superhero guy. I'm curious to see what this is going to be like, a Venom without a Spider-Man, potentially. So I'm curious on... I don't know. I know apparently the reviews, they're not lifting the review embargo until like a few days before Venom comes out. Now, okay, it's not always mutually exclusive to each other, but more often than not when a studio does that, it's because they don't have that much confidence in the movie. But that's not always the case. There are exceptions, right? I think the movie It, if I remember correctly, I think the review embargo on that didn't lift until like 5 days before or something or whatever. And it was all right. You know, it was pretty good, right? So, and it did very well. So, and the general consensus is that it was pretty good. So they're not mutually exclusive to each other, but that's not a good sign. So, we'll see. Okay. From the Vault 101, how old were you, was you, but I think you meant were you when you watched the original Halloween movie, and what effect did it have on you? Good question. How old was I? Well, I don't really remember how old I was, but I do remember it was my brother Neil, who's 9 years older than me. All my siblings, apart from my younger half-sister, who I'm 8 years older than, they're all older than me. So my brother Neil, he was a huge fan of Halloween, and his reasoning for that was because it was the first horror movie he ever watched that never gave him nightmares. So that's why he just loved it. And he obviously showed me the film. When, I don't know. I mean, this would have been the early 80s. I was probably, 4, so it was probably like 1983 or something like that. Or maybe I was 5. And it might have even come on TV. It might have been Halloween time or getting close to that. And Neil watched it with, I don't know. I'd have to ask my brother if he remembers specifically. But it was definitely Neil that did it, for sure. Neil got me into horror for sure. I mean, Neil, I was into Freddy Krueger and Friday the 13th and Halloween and all that because of him. Yeah, for sure. Okay. The brand cast with Brandon Barry. Hey Dave, what's your thoughts on Candyman remake? Is there a Candyman? Oh, I think is there one that they're thinking about doing? I was never a big fan of Candyman, so I don't really have any thoughts on it. Philip Robinson says, Dave, the shot in your new short from where Michael opens the door and that blurred shot where he's standing behind the dude, it was awesome. So Halloween too. Oh, you got that, eh? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That was sort of a little kind of tip to the hat to the moment when Michael steps into the doorway of the Elrod's neighbor before he leaps up from behind the sofa and kills her. So I'm glad you picked up on that. Good job. Joey Boy Nation, do you have a favorite singer or band? Well, my favorite band, I don't really. I'll listen to anything. I'll listen to, you know what? I'll listen to top 40. I'll listen to hip hop. I'll listen to rock. I'll listen to classical. I'll listen to movie soundtracks. If it's good and if it jives with me, I don't care what it is. I don't really have a go-to, really. Like if it's and I say this, in all all seriousness, if there was a Backstreet Boys song that came on the radio and I was like, that's pretty good, like I can bop to it. I'm not really paying attention to the lyrics, but if it's got a good beat, it's got a good rhythm, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I'm not ashamed to admit it, right? It's music, But my favorite band would be AC/DC. And that's because of my brothers as well. I grew up with them. They were big AC/DC fans. I've only seen AC/DC once in concert, and that was in 2001 during their Stiff Upper Lip tour. My brother Neil and I were 14 rows from the stage. So that was really cool. That was an awesome experience. That would be my favorite band for sure. Okay, Erica Chavez says, hi, Dave. One of the garbage movies I've seen back in the day was Motel Hell. What's your thoughts? I've never heard of Motel Hell. I don't think. I've heard of... I did a thing where I talked about Motorhome Massacre. Wow. Okay. Woo! The Shape Return says, what's your opinion on Halloween Reflections? Oh, I liked it. Oh, yeah, no. Halloween Reflections is written and directed by a buddy of mine who lives here in Toronto. So, Jason Costa. So, Jason, if you're watching, you're awesome. It was a great little short. And, of course, it was expensive to make because he put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it. So, I don't know if he's going to continue on and do a part 2, but what he did was really good. So, I liked it a lot. Okay. Sue Alexander again. Now, when you're a Halloween fan, it's hard to find decent horror movies because it's high stakes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, especially when you are a fan of the psychological component to horror. It doesn't mean that slashers and blood, guts, and gore don't have their place. They'll always have their place. And who doesn't like watching a brain fart, popcorn fluff slasher every now and then where it's just about blood, guts, and gore? It can be fun. It can be fun, right? And that's what the vast majority of the Friday the 13th films were. But to truly scare your audience, to truly actually scare your audience, you have to understand the psyche of the individual and how we're all scared in similar ways, and you have to get in here. It's a whole thing. I did a video on it, on what truly frightens us a while back, maybe a couple of months ago, back in the summer, back in July maybe, June or July. And you can check it out, and I go sort of deep into the analysis of what really sort of scares us and why. So I think whenever you have a movie that taps into that, it will always be better than the stuff that doesn't, because it's more universal that way. Lynn S., do you think a suspense film is scarier than a slasher film in the horror genre? Well, that's a great addition to what I was just talking about. Yes, but it has to be done correctly, right? There are certain techniques that you utilize from a psychological perspective that, if done correctly, yes, 100%. Absolutely. Yep. And there is an abundance of evidence of that through the stories that are told in the movies that we love. Okay. Kevin Fishgall says, hey, Dave, the release date for Halloween being October 19th, also being Michael Myers' birthday. Do you think that was intentional? It could have been, but just keep in mind that there's a good chance that it wasn't. I think this has more to do with the fact that it just so happened the 19th of October happened to be a Friday this year. It happened to be very close to Halloween. It happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think that they wanted to release the movie in October. It's the first one being released in October since Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Even Halloween 6 was not released in October. It was released at the end of September, and or in September. And H2O, of course, was in the summer. So this is the first Halloween film in, 29 years that is being released at Halloween time. So I think they just picked that date and was like, okay, yeah, let's pick that date. That's like the last Friday. That's like the second last Friday before Halloween and blah, 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 d. That's what I think it more has to do with. And maybe, oh, what a coincidence. It happens to be Michael Audrey Miles' birthday. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. And just, oh, well, cool, right? It's kind of an afterthought. But I don't think they specifically marketed this movie around that. Oh, no, we got to look for the closest thing. And even if it was because if the 19th had not been a Friday and the 19th been a Tuesday, the movie wouldn't be coming out on the 19th. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? So keep that in mind. It just so happened that the 19th was a Friday, and it worked like that. Okay. Crimes Bassist? Resurrection versus Jason Takes Manhattan. Which one is worse? I'm going to say that Jason Takes Manhattan is worse, but take that with a grain of salt. It's not that I'm now saying that Resurrection is a good movie. What I'm saying is that there are things in Resurrection that I can find redeeming, even if it's one tiny, like nothing of a thing, over Jason Takes Manhattan. So it's like think of it like a 100-meter dash, right? Where the winner comes in at 9.78 seconds. Okay, 9.78 seconds. And number 2 is 9.79 seconds. It's like, oh, but technically that first person was number. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of thing, really. So yeah. It's not saying much about resurrection. Nate Hartswick says, "Hey Dave, just wondering if you remember and or watch the TV show Freddy's Nightmares." Oh yes, I remember that show, 100%. Yeah. I remember as a kid being disappointed that it didn't have Freddy in it a lot. He was the host of the show, and Freddy would appear every so often, but it was more anthology. It was more about these crazy nightmares that people would have, crazy situations. It was like an Outer Limits or like a Twilight Zone. It was all different kinds of stuff, and Freddy happened to be the host. And I remember as a kid being, because you wanted, you're there to see Freddy, right? Now as an adult, there I am spitting again. That's what happens when you're talking nonstop. But now as an adult, I would appreciate it more because I can get into the stories, right? As a kid, you're like, I want to see Freddy. What the fuck? This is boring, because you associate Freddy Krueger with Elm Street. So I thought Freddy's Nightmares was going to be like a TV series, essentially, right? Where it was Freddy Krueger attacking the dreams and all that kind of stuff. And it was to some degree, but there was very little Freddy. And that was one thing I remember not liking. Okay, John Bruce says, First Man tickets were available 3 weeks ago in advance, but not Halloween. Super pissed off. Well, that's because, there's reasons for that. It's part of Universal's marketing strategy. Okay, the longer there's several reasons why, but the longer they wait, one of the reasons is the longer they wait, the more guaranteed, and they build that hype train, the more guaranteed they are to sell them. That's not the number one thing, but that's part of it. Okay, Terrell Sims, have you ever seen so maybe horror movies that you're not fazed by that anymore? Have you ever seen so many horror movies that you're not fazed by them anymore? I think is what you're saying. No, I think as I've gotten older, what's happened is I don't care so much about I like slashers. I do. But it takes more than a cookie cutter slasher to frighten me or to really have me appreciate a horror movie, a good horror movie. And it doesn't always have to be psychological, but a good horror movie. And I think, it's a very particular genre. And I think as I've grown older, my tastes have also grown. So that's sort of, yeah. I wouldn't say that I've become desensitized to the genre. I would just say that my expectations have grown. Okay. Oh, let me go back here. Okay. And again, for those of you just tuning in, if I don't answer your question, it's nothing personal. We have 190 people watching right now. And, there are a lot of people that do tune in, and, it goes by like a bat out of hell. So, just keep that in mind. David Johnson says, did you see the Halloween 2018 poster billboard in Times Square? I did. Yeah, kind of cool, eh? Really cool stuff. Okay. Jonathan Hook. Halloween 5 or H2O? Well, I would say H2O. But again, that's not because I think H2O is a far better movie than Halloween 5. It's because there are some redeeming things. Well, actually, no. You know what? Yeah, I would say so. I think that's probably where I would put it. But it's not, I don't particularly like Halloween H2O. It doesn't feel like a Halloween film. The only redeeming quality is living vicariously, seeing Michael, the character of Michael and Laurie, together again in the same universe. But other than that, I don't give a frog's fat ass about anything else in that movie. I don't care about any other character, and I don't care about anything else. It doesn't look like a Halloween movie. It doesn't feel like and this is my opinion, okay? It doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. I understand that there are certain people that grew up on it and they're emotionally attached to it because of the nostalgia. I understand. But I'm nearly 40, okay? I was 19 when the movie came out. So I was already watching all the others. H2O was not my first go around with the franchise. So when I watched it, I enjoyed it because it was cool to see Jamie Lee Curtis back in that character. And, okay, this is kind of cool. And there's certain moments I can appreciate, but it felt too much like, as I've said 1,000 times, Michael Myers walking onto the set of Dawson's Creek. And because it's very dated in its visual aesthetic and its execution, because it was capitalizing, on the mid-90s horror craze, your Scream, your urban legends, your I Know What You Did Last Summer, it has that vibe to it, and I wasn't crazy. But there are certain things, the battle between Laurie and Michael, or just seeing them together, I guess, would win me over. But there are things about Halloween 5 that I think they did better than H2O, at least Halloween 5 kind of feels autumn-ish, you got Donald Pleasance, even though he's crazy in that movie. You know where he is, he's like off his rocker. Well, it's still Donald Pleasance. So it's not saying much, but I'd probably go H2O by, again, 9.79, 9.78, 9.79, 9.78, like that. It's crazy. Okay, Ms. Sky says, hey, Dave, your fan film was awesome, and I'm loving this live broadcast. I'm excited about this, and congrats on the 12,000 he says 1,200. You mean 12,000 subscribers. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Awesome to see you in the chat room. D-Man1954 says, hey man, I love the channel. Why is there no super chat? Oh, well, my channel's not monetized. It's just something that I have copyrighted material on this channel, obviously, with a lot of the fan films that I put out. So my channel is not monetized. I do not make anything from this YouTube channel. And, it doesn't mean that that won't ever happen, but right now I'd like to keep all this content free for you guys. I do have a Patreon if you want to help support the channel each and every month via Patreon, because there are certain things that I do that I factor into my schedule, like this channel, that requires more work. My assistant is helping with that as well, who usually helps me with all of my voiceover work and my agents and stuff. So she's taken on some extra work. So there is a Patreon for all that stuff, but the actual channel itself and these AMAs, no, that's all free. So that's why, that's why. So I decided to go the Patreon route instead, because I didn't want to sort of remove all the juicy material that I have on this channel. Okay, Stuart Johnson says, what is worse, Dave? Jason Takes Manhattan or Freddy's Dead? You guys are funny. I'm going to say it's a tie. Let me think on that. But right now I want to say tie. Movie chat and more. Billy from Black Christmas 5. The Killer from When a Stranger Calls remake. Who wins? Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't seen the remake of When a Stranger... Oh, no, I have seen the remake of When a Stranger Calls. Yeah, that's from 2006. I like that. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. But I didn't see the remake of Black Christmas. Billy from Black Christmas. Versus. You mean Versus. Sorry, I'm seeing 5. Of course you mean Versus. Versus The Killer from When a Stranger Calls remake. Who wins? I don't know. I'll go with the When a Stranger Calls, because we actually saw that he was capable of. Billy, we're not really sure. Billy's creepier. Billy! Shot right here in Toronto. Good Canadian movie. Okay, Kyle Sanford says, hey Dave, I was wondering what your thoughts on House 2, the second story. Great question. Sequel to House 1985. Also, congrats on 12,000. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Kyle. I wasn't a huge fan of House 2, the second story. It has its moments, but the superior film, in my opinion, is the original House. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. George Wendt is in there, and what's the guy's name from Night Court, the guy that played Bull? He's in there. It's not to be taken seriously. It's very satirical. It's very tongue-in-cheek, but it's really good. And there are some genuinely creepy moments and shots in that movie. What they did with with the guy who plays Bull, I forget his name now. But the guy who plays Martin Mull, is that his name? Martin Mull? Or are you answering? Lynn S says Martin Mull. Maybe that's his name. Richard Mull was Bull on Night Court. That's what I thought. Yeah. When you look at what they did with him in that movie was he looked terrifying. I would love to have seen that character in some other movie. I'm glad they utilized him sparingly, and I'm glad he was only in that movie because they probably would have ruined him. But he looked like he could have been like an iconic horror character. Loved it. So I love House. Wasn't crazy on the second story, but the first one I absolutely love. Okay, let's scroll down here. Okay, da-da-da-dee. Okay, scrolling down. Matthew Moody. Hi, Dave. You think you will get a Halloween movie in the... Do you think you will get a Halloween movie in the future like... Do you think we will get, a Halloween movie in the future like we did 20 years or something? I don't know. I mean, maybe. Who knows? I mean, by then I'll be 60, so... I don't know. I hope not. I mean, I'd like to see something new, but, stories are told over and over again, so we'll see. You never know. Jonathan Peterson says, oh no, Jonathan, I lost you. Oh, wait, I think I see you. There you are, yes. Hey, Dave, what would you think of a Halloween TV series that revolves around Loomis and Michael in Smith's Groves until he escapes? Yeah, this whole TV series thing is interesting. I know that's not your question, Jonathan, but I know that Malak Akkad said that he wants to do a Halloween TV series. And the only way that you can do a successful Halloween TV series, really at the end of the day, is if you do what Jonathan is suggesting. And when I say successful, I mean actually pull off doing a TV series. What if the series will be successful or not, I have no idea. Because, as I know a lot of you may not like me to say this, but the character of Michael Myers has a shelf life. The original intent of the character, which is what they've gone back to here, has a shelf life. He's not literally a supernatural entity and being like Jason or Freddie, who lives in your dreams. So he can live on and on and on and on and on. So there's only so much you can do with the original intent of Michael Myers where it becomes redundant. And I mean, what? Is he just going to be continued to be captured and put back into the sanitarium at the end of every episode or at the end of every movie? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the movies, right? And he's 61 years old now, right? So there's only so much you can do. What I think Malak Akkad would probably do is he would probably get people back on board with a Michael Myers sort of angle to maybe the first season or a couple of episodes. But it wouldn't surprise me if they went anthology. And I'm not totally convinced that that would not be successful, especially in this day and age where the word anthology is a household name. And especially if you can create a universe based on that, because there are other weird and crazy and fucked up stories that you could tell that maybe are in the Haddonfield universe, but down the street in another town, right? Michael Myers is not the only scary, crazy, fucked up thing that happens in this world. He's one of them, but he's not the only thing, right? You have Charles Manson, whoa, but you also have John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but to have an entire series, what's going to happen? Jonathan says here, do you think that a TV series that revolves around Loomis and Michael in Smith's Groves until he escapes would be successful? Well, it would be interesting, but then now you're demystifying Michael Myers again. You're going into now we're going to find out all this stuff and we're going to get all these, explanations and we're going to get all these medical terms and we're going to watch the relationship grow and we're going to watch, and we're going to get more backstory and we're going to see his parents coming to visit and we're going to see Michael throwing a temper tantrum and we're going to see Loomis holding him down and we're going to see all that. And I am not somebody that needs to see all that. Maybe you do, and that's cool, but I don't need to see all that. The original intent of that character works best as an enigma, as this, what is that? Who is this person? Why is he like that? Where does this come from? I know it's hard to hear, but that original intent did have a shelf life, does have a shelf life. Doesn't mean that you can't do a few sequels, doesn't mean that they might be able to spin out a couple of sequels with this new movie, but eventually, if you are not careful, Michael Myers will become the very thing they were trying to avoid by doing this sequel, Halloween 2018, in the first place. He will just become another, it's another shit show because there's only so much you can do before it becomes redundant and you have to, explain things and you have to turn him into literally a supernatural being, full on, full force, because that's what happened in the later sequels, right? So anyway. That's what I think. Could it be successful? Maybe. But it has a shelf life. There's only so much you can do. Ironically, I think the anthology route might be better. Because come on, think about that for a minute. crazy, fucked up stories that will fuck you up if done right in the Halloween universe. Down the street in another town, there's something fucked up going on down there. There's something fucked up going on down there. Think about that. Might be interesting. And maybe in a story down there, there's a newspaper on the table, right? That shows you an article about Michael Myers. So you know you're in the same universe, right? You know, maybe. We'll see. Cult Pictures says, congrats, McRage. McRage! Can you give us a quick drunk Loomis improv, please? Well, all right. Fucking Michael Myers. 6 bodies, Sheriff! That's what I saw between here and Ridgemont. A station in flames. I'm telling you, Michael Myers is here in this town. He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way. And just because I'm wearing a thong from La Senza or from Victoria's Secret right now does not mean I am any less crazy than I will be in a few moments. Oh, fuck, this thong is tighter than a... I'll stop there just in case this gets a little bad. Now you'll have this vision of Loomis standing while that scene is playing out. He's leaning there. I'm telling you, Chef. Loomis is wearing a thong. He had no underwear that morning, so he borrowed his nurse's thong. Mark Seaver says, hey, Dave, have you ever seen My Bodyguard 1980? Yes, I have, and I thought it was a great movie. My dad introduced me to that, and I thought it was great. And I have it on DVD, actually. Yeah, I like it. Great question, Mark. Yeah, wow. So I'm not the only one that remembers that movie. Okay. Dylan Rackle says, is it Dylan? Yeah, it's got to be. Dylan? So many, I think there's a couple of ways you can spell that. I might have missed this question if it was already asked, but if not, you got any advice on how to get into voice acting? Well, the best advice I can get into voice acting, this is the number one thing you have to understand. Voiceover is not about your voice. That doesn't mean that if you don't have a nice voice, a soothing voice, or a rich voice, or a sexy voice, or whatever the case is, that doesn't mean that that could not possibly help you, but it is not about the voice. It's about your acting and performing abilities. How good of an actor are you? Even if you're not doing animation voiceover, which is where your acting chops really come into play, because you're playing a character. Even if you're just doing a local TV ad, or the other day I did some national TV ads for Lowe's. And I'm not playing myself. I'm not being myself, right? I'm being an announcer. I'm being a casual guy. There might be some parallels, but I'm not Dave McRae, right? So you're always, at the very least, some sort of fictional version of yourself. So you have to understand that this is not about the voice. This is about your acting and performing abilities. How well do you take direction? How well can you interpret copy? Right? Do you understand the tiny nuances and idiosyncrasies of how to make a read come to life and make it sound like you're not reading, to make it sound casual and relatable? Do you know what I mean? So the best advice I can give is understand that, go, okay. And if you've never taken an acting class, take an acting class, take an improv class. Look for some good, reputable now, voiceover workshops that can talk about commercials, narration, animation, and teach the art of voice acting. Because this is voice acting, okay? It's acting. It's acting. It's no different than being on camera. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong, but it's another version of acting. Okay, it's behind the microphone, but you're still performing. So hopefully that will at least get you thinking about it and started. Okay, Nathan Martinez says, hey, Dave, do you like Metallica? A couple of songs I don't mind. A couple of beats I don't mind, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan. Okay, just scrolling back here. Again, folks, we're an hour into this live AMA 12,000 subscriber celebration. We'll go till 9 o'clock p.m. tonight. I usually like to keep these kinds of celebrations 2 hours. No, for those of you that have just come into the chat room, if I don't answer your question, again, it's nothing personal. It's just there's so many people in here. We got 186 people watching. Sometimes it's hard to get to everybody. Dylan, I was right. Okay. Dylan! Arnold from Predator. What's the matter? CIA got you pressing too many pencils? Yeah. Pushing. It's pushing too many pencils, I think. Okay, let me scroll back here. Your Loomis is almost as good as Jay's. Yeah, Jay, that's right, from We Watched a Movie. That's right. Okay, Red Ranger 241, when are you and Jay going to have a Loomis off? Well, if Jay from We Watched the Movie wants to do a Loomis off, we'll just get together and we'll talk about it. Maybe Jay and I can sit down and maybe Jay and I can do our favorite Loomis quotes. Maybe that's what we could do. Maybe you guys can get in touch with get in touch with Jay and if the fans are calling for it, if the fans want it, maybe the fans can say, hey, maybe you and Dave can do, your favorite Loomis quotes, uploading a video talking like Loomis, right? You know what I mean? Or our rendition of Loomis. You know, both Jay and I are very different, but we tend to go to the extreme, right? And be really satirical about it. I tend to go kind of drunk, but I certainly could do a more subdued, serious Loomis. So that might be kind of fun. Maybe if the fans are calling for it, maybe we'll do it. We'll see. Mike and Jay are great guys. Okay. Mangrove Pierce says, Dave, from your body of work, I can tell that you are a very creative person. Oh, thank you. That said, have you ever thought of creating your own masked killer and or boogeyman? I'd kill to see that in a fan film. Oh, yeah. No, I haven't like intellectualized it, I should say. When I was a teenager back in the 90s, my buddy Bruce and I, who I grew up with, that's how long I've known him. I've known him for 26 years. We did our own little sort of series of home movies where we had our own kind of killer in it, but he was totally a ripoff of Michael Myers. But I haven't thought about doing my own, but that's not a bad idea, though. I'll give it some thoughts. Oh, hey, we got 2 thumbs down. Yes! Yes! I always like it when I get some thumbs down, even some things out. The Film Addict says, hey, Dave, are you going to see the Freddie Mercury Queen biopic in November? I definitely want to see that. That looks great. And Queen's music is so great. I mean, there's almost not a bad song. And Freddie Mercury was one of the greatest frontmen of all time. And the guy who's playing him, I forget his name now, looks spectacular. And my girlfriend wants to see that as well. So we were like, yeah, we got to go see that. So yes, we will hopefully we'll go see it in the theater. That's one that we'll definitely make the time out to go and see. Yeah, very cool. Dude says, hey Dave, thoughts on The Blob 1988? Oh, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a long time, so it couldn't have left a huge lasting impression on me. It's complicated. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's complicated. I apologize for that. What if they made a Friday the 13th sequel where they picked up with Tommy and Megan 30 years later, ignoring everything after Jason lives? Sure, why not? Why not? I'm not saying it's going to be good, but why not? I mean, we're in this phase, you know? Like I said, whether it's old school television shows coming back, like Will and Grace, like Roseanne slash The Conners, whether it's Fuller House, whether it's movies, Terminator, 6, whether it's, Die Hard, they're thinking about doing that, whether they're thinking about rebooting Frasier. I love Frasier, one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. They're thinking about doing that. Where is he going to, okay, sure, why not? What the hell? Why not? Doesn't mean it's going to be good, but okay, sure, why not? I think actually they should, of course, Robert Englund is quite old now, but it would be cool to see them do a Nightmare on Elm Street, maybe a sequel to part 3. So you have like a trilogy, 1, 3, and this other one or something. I know New Nightmare was supposed to be that in and of itself, but who knows? Why not, right? Oh boy. Okay, scrolling back here. Kyle Sanford says, what are your thoughts on Goodfellas? Love Goodfellas. You think I'm fucking funny? Do you think I'm fucking funny? Do I amuse you? Am I a clown? Do I amuse you? Fucking love Joe Pesci. Okay. Red Ranger 241 says, when are you and Jay? Oh, I already answered that. Or maybe I answered somebody else's question of that. I'm not quite sure. Okay, just scrolling back a little bit to see if there's anything. How we got? 174 people still watching. 12,000 subscribers celebration here on this Friday night. Well, it could be Friday morning depending on where you are in the world. Right here, it's September the 28th, 2018. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Neil Tembo says, Dave, tell me we don't see Michael's face in the new Halloween. I can't tell you that. I mean, I can't not tell you that, but I can't tell you that. I can't give anything away, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go in and make up your own minds of what you thought. But look for my epic review. It's epic. Coming that weekend. Okay. Just scrolling here, see if we got anything. Jake5 says, hey, Dave, how's your Halloween review going to be? Do you already have the review made, or are you going to set an opening with... Yeah, I just was saying that. The review is in the works. I am writing everything down, compartmentalizing my thoughts, because this is epic. Like, this is the moment, you know, this is it. Like, this is the moment, right? This is, in some ways, the moment, the end result that my channel has been on. There are some people that are like, what the hell are you going to talk about after Halloween's done, man? You ain't got shit because your channel's so focused on Halloween, you ain't going to fucking talk about shit. Watch me. And of course, if they do make a sequel to this Halloween 2018 movie, well, that'll just keep the Halloween train going. But yes, look for it opening probably that Sunday. Okay. And Anthony Jones says, hey, Dave, I know these movies are in no way comparable, and I know you have an attachment to both. Okay. But hypothetically, Desert Island, which one? Halloween or Star Wars? Well, which Star Wars movie? You have to tell me. But let's say my favorite, Empire. Halloween or Empire? You know what? I'd probably go Empire. I'd probably go Empire, not because, but that would be tough. But because there's so much deep-seated symbolism in that movie, it's a bigger picture film, you know, and it's so awesome. It just gets better and better every time you watch it. Halloween is good, but it remains just really good, like here. And that's not a knock against it. It's here. That would be tough though. That would be tough. But I'd probably say Empire. That would be so tough. Randy Mars says, Dave, what's your favorite ending in the Halloween? Michael Myers being burned or shot down? Well, burned. I mean, Halloween 2, 1981. I mean, that was the end of that was supposed to be the end of the character. The reason why John Carpenter killed him in that movie was because he was a human being. Doesn't mean he didn't have that what the fuck, right? But he was still flesh and bones. He could bleed. That's why he killed that character, because he knew that this character had a shelf life, you know, and he works best. This character works best, you know, if we have him in this dose. And then the idea was to go on to do an anthology, but of course that didn't happen. But I thought Halloween 2, it's nowhere near as good as the original, but I thought it was a good sequel. It's my second favorite in the series. And I look at Halloween 1 and 2 as like the complete series. Like, that's the story. That's it. Like, that's the story. Halloween 2018 aside, don't read too much into what I just said there. Oh, so he looks, no. It's because we're talking about these two films. Don't read too much into what I said there. I'm just saying that with these two movies, that's what I considered to be the complete series, right? And now don't, at the same token, say, oh, now he's saying that maybe this... No, I'm just trying to preface this because there are a lot of people that like to read into this kind of stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. Aircar33, who's a patron, says, will we see a sequel to this new movie way before Michael hits the small screen? I can't talk about it, guys. I have no idea. Maybe. I don't know. Sean Calling says, thoughts on They Live. Oh, I like They Live a lot. Haven't seen it in a long time. But, you know, the classic line, I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick some ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Awesome shit. Great movie. Has one of the longest fight scenes, I think, in a movie. Like, seriously, it does. Love that. Bernie Gambano says, congrats on the 12K, brother. Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate it. Howard D says, did you watch the Rotten Tomatoes 2-part interview with Jamie Lee Curtis? I did watch that. Yes, I did. Okay. Movie chat and more. That's what he did. He put an LOL in there. Darth Vader the Boss says, holy shit, that's awesome. I don't know what he's talking about, but apparently it's awesome. Okay, scrolling down here. I see people still talking about the thong. Mangrove Pier says, Dave, from your... Oh, I already read that. Oh, that's right, because I scrolled back up. Let me scroll down here. Jurassic Productions says, oh, Jurassic Productions, where'd you go? There you are. Jurassic Production says, back again. If I can finish my fan film script, would you like to look at it over and give some critiques? It's a sequel to H. In a perfect world, I would, but unfortunately, I have to say no to things like that. It's nothing personal. It's because I said I would in the beginning about a year or so ago, and then I was flooded with it, as you can imagine. And I'm somebody that cares about this kind of stuff. And you guys have expectations, and my word is my bond. And if I say I'm going to look at something, I want to be able to follow through. And I just was not able to do that. So it's nothing personal. I just, unfortunately, I have to say no. But good luck on that. Good luck on your fan film. I hope you finish it and post it online. Movie chat and more. The Thing or The Fog? Oh, that's tough. Depends on my mood. I want to say The Fog right now, though. I'm feeling foggish right now. General Custer 1825. These names, man. I just watched The Witch last night. You seen it? Thoughts? Yeah, I saw it a while ago now. Last year, maybe. I liked it. I did. My buddy Bruce, he wasn't crazy on it. He was a little, he's kind of bored. There were certain things that I think they could have done to help improve the pacing a bit, to help improve what was going on a bit. Maybe just kind of have a little more. But overall, I love the mood, and I love the atmosphere, and I love the cinematography, and I love the pacing to a point. But I do recognize that it does kind of, there could have been a few little things just to help it, just a little, just a little bit. But I liked it. I remember, I've only seen it once, but I do remember liking it. Sean Collins says, thoughts on It Follows? I liked It Follows. I didn't love It Follows, but I liked It Follows. I remember thinking that, yes, it's a really well done film. Very moody, very atmospheric. There were certain choices that the characters made that I thought, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. But my favorite part of the whole movie was, sadly, that big tall guy that walked into that room. He passed away, I think, a month or so ago or something. Isn't that true? He passed away. That was my favorite part of the whole movie. That was genuinely awkward and uncomfortable and weird. And it threw you off, right? I love that shit in movies. That was my favorite part of the whole movie, was that movie. When all of a sudden she opens the door and this guy just comes in. It's like, whoa, do you know what I'm saying? And it would not have been nearly effective if he was, my height. I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'8". So, if that was the case, then, well, 5'8", I can probably hit about 5'9", 5'10" in shoes. But if that was the case, it's that kind of thing where, yeah, he was genuinely tall. He was like 6'8" or something like that, like a foot, So it's that kind of thing where he was, wow, that was creepy. That was uncomfortable. The whole peeing thing in the kitchen, that doesn't do anything for me. It just doesn't for me. So I liked It Follows. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Definitely that stood out to me. And the scene where the girl's on the swing, there's no music, just the foliage and the soundscape of the atmosphere and her environment. And she's looking around and they're POVing it like she's looking like there's somebody there. But there's nobody there. That was great. Borderline brilliant. I love shit like that. So yeah, I liked It Follows, but I can't say I loved it. I gotta watch it again though, because I've only seen it once. Okay. Aqua 10 Jin 1 says, are you pumped for episode 9? I am cautiously optimistic for episode 9. Because after watching episode 8, I just was like, I don't care what happens now, because it was so atrociously done. The second act in a movie, Rian Johnson dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. And I'm not saying I hate Rian Johnson. I'm not one of those people that, oh, fuck you, Rian Johnson, you ruined my childhood and everything he does from here on in is going to be a fucking shit show. No, not at all. There were just creative choices that were made in The Last Jedi that I thought, and this has nothing to do with expectations, concrete, quantifiable, story perspective when you're dealing with the second act of a movie, creative decisions that were made that made no fucking sense. That you just don't do. Rian Johnson's on record as saying something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing, well, we did, I was doing, this, and, we wanted to take risks, and you don't take risks in the second act of a trilogy. That doesn't mean you don't do your own thing or you write a story, but you don't take risks, trying to be avant-garde for the sake of being avant-garde. That's not what you do. you have to, there's a specific story arc that you have to follow here. Luke being a hermit was the least of its problems. I was okay with that. I was fine with that. Anyways, I could go on and on and on, but I did not enjoy The Last Jedi. There were things in it that I liked. Oh, I thought that was good, or that was a nice moment, or that was kind of cool. But overall, I didn't like it. They dropped the ball on that movie. So much so that when I left the theater, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. The movie didn't leave me going, whoa, what the fuck's gonna happen? Think of Empire. We find out that Luke's dad is the baddest motherfucker in the galaxy. Think about that. Okay? Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. Holy fuck. Okay? Luke gets his hand chopped off. Holy fuck. Luke learns more about the Force through Yoda, and we realize how deep. Holy fuck. What the hell happened in the last? Rey should have gone with Kylo Ren. And the reason she should have gone is because, let me just quickly say this, is because from a character perspective, she finds out that her parents are nobodies. Okay, so that's a blow to her being. She finds out that Luke, the guy who was supposed to show her place in all of this, turns out to be a fucking bust and a joke. That should have affected her. And the only one that seems to care about her is Kylo Ren. Now, I'm not saying that she turns to the dark side, but when she goes to try and get Kylo Ren to come with her, okay, and they have that lightsaber duel, and Kylo Ren's trying to convince her, and she goes, oh, Ben, don't do this. No! That should have been the moment that she second guesses herself. Oh my God, maybe my place is with this man. Okay, you know that by the end of episode 9, she'll probably be redeemed if she goes all the way. But it should have ended. Holy shit, what's going to happen next? Get Canto Bite out of there. That was a fucking useless thing. Get this. I could go on and on and on, and that wasn't your question. But you can see how this affects me. But it's related to your question because I have to reference my distaste for episode 8 because I'm not pumped for episode 9. I'm glad JJ's back. I think JJ should have done all 3 films as far as I'm concerned. I'm glad he's back. And there is no doubt in my mind that privately, JJ Abrams turned to a friend or his wife or his buddy and said, what the fuck did they do? Now you can say, but JJ was an executive producer on episode 8. Yes, he was. But it has also been confirmed that JJ Abrams had absolutely, unequivocally no creative input in the movie. You have to understand that an executive producer's role in major motion pictures can vary from heavily involved to just giving you my name so you can use it to market the movie and I get a paycheck. Literally, that's the spectrum. It's not like in television, okay? Whew! Anyway, let's go on here. Fucking get pumped on that shit. Okay, I'm cautiously optimistic. Zach Martino says, hey Dave, are you going to see Halloween 2018 again? I can't answer that, unfortunately, because if I tell you I am, that might give you, it means you kind of liked it. If I tell you I'm not and I have no interest in fucking seeing it again, you might go, oh shit. Can't tell you that, unfortunately. Malcolm McRae says, have you already talked about Chucky, Dave? No, I haven't actually, and I am aware of the new image that came out with Child's Play, and he looks sort of just like a modernized version of a good guy doll. So I would have to see what he looks like on his body and what he's capable of doing. What he's capable of doing might be that might be the differentiating moment between Chucky as we know him and this new incarnation. But just this part of Chucky, just this, kind of looks like a modernized good guy doll. So I don't know. Interesting. Okay, scrolling down here. I'll scroll back actually a little bit too. Oh, no. Actually, I didn't do too bad there. Again, folks, if I don't answer your question, it's nothing personal. I'm trying to get through these as quickly as I can. I think I'm doing an okay job. Jackalope48 says, hi, Dave. I already answered that. Jeez. Sorry, Jackalope. Frank Riker says, ever seen John Carpenter's Body Bags? I want to say I did. But I can't remember. Oh, actually, no. This is a different question. Jackalope48, I'm sorry. Hi, Dave. Other than Halloween 1978, what is your favorite John Carpenter film? Mine is Big Trouble in Little China. Love your videos. Sorry, that was a different question. I'm going to say my favorite John Carpenter film would be, maybe In the Mouth of Madness, I really like, which was shot up here in the Toronto area. That big church in the Mouth of Madness is like not too far away from me. Pretty cool stuff. It's still there. I also like The Fog. I thought The Fog was great. The Thing is great. It's hard to say. It depends on my mood. Okay. Anthony Stanfield says, I guess he's talking to somebody else in the chat room. Charles, here we are. Charles Bronson. My God, Charles Bronson's in the house. Dave has a hard-on for Star Wars. Michael Myers is a tad bit jealous. Well, really, in reality, it comes down to I just want there to be continuity in this new Star Wars trilogy. And unfortunately, anyway, I could go on. We don't need that. Justin Thomas. Dave, do you think the new Halloween film could have a $50 to $100 million opening weekend? Well, these are my thoughts on it. I said months ago that my projection, based on previous films in the series, based on what I know about marketing, based on what they're doing with the film, I said that I believed that Halloween would pull in anywhere between 35 and 45 million. Now, if it hit 50 million, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm still in the ballpark, right? 45 is my high end. 50 million, okay, I'm still there. There are people that honestly think it's going to knock it out of the water. I think these people are insane. I don't think Halloween is going to rake in anywhere close to $100 million. Now, if it does, well, then I will eat my words and say, wow, holy shit, a lot of people went out to see it. There's a good chance that it's going to do very well regardless, whether it makes 35 mil or 40 mil or 100 mil. If Halloween 2018 makes 40 mil at the box office, they're going to be happy with that. Blumhouse will be ecstatic with that. They might think, I thought we could have got more. But $40 million opening weekend for a Halloween movie, they will be very happy with that. On a $10 million budget, they will be very happy with that. If they make $80 million, they will be through the fucking roof and popping, champagne corks like it's going out of style. But I think anywhere between 40 to 50, 35 to 45, 50, okay, sure, high end. Yeah, I think that's probably where it's going to fall. Because, like I said, this is being released in October. It's the first Halloween movie to do so since 1989's Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So you have the nostalgia and the hype train leading up to it. But you have to remember that the general moviegoer, there is the Halloween hardcore fans, and then you have to get the general movie-going audience, which is a larger audience than the hardcore fans. So I think a realistic box office opening weekend number would be, I'm still in, 35 on the low end, 45 on the high end. Some people now are predicting 50. Yeah, okay, that's in my ballpark. Okay, sure. Maybe it'll make 100 million domestically by the end of its run, 120 maybe by the end of its run, because it's going to do well over the first couple of weeks there because it's Halloween. But this movie's it's not Marvel, folks. It's not Star Wars. By the end of its domestic run, it's not like Halloween's going to be sitting at $500 million. It's not going to happen. So we have to keep things in perspective. Okay, Michael Martinez. Hey, Michael, welcome. Hey, Dave, is it worth buying Solo on Blu-ray? I think it is. I liked Solo. Listen, I agree. After seeing Solo, there was no need for that movie. It's a movie nobody wanted. It's a movie nobody was calling for. And I still think to this day, you still don't need it. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a half-decent film. I liked it a hell of a lot better than I liked The Last Jedi. And I thought Alden Ehrenreich, I believe that's his name, did a very good job as Han Solo. I bought it. He's not doing a Harrison Ford impression, but he's bringing the essence of the character to the role of Han Solo. And when I look at that, I go, I believe that this could be Han Solo 10, 15 years before A New Hope. I buy it. Totally buy it. because he has the spirit there. And there's certain moments where you're like, I could totally buy this. And I enjoyed it. It's not going to knock your socks off. It's not going to blow you out of the water. It's not going to be the greatest Star Wars movie of all time, but it was a fun ride. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I can still say that to this day, despite the fact that I think if it didn't exist, we wouldn't be any, in a different position. But it's a good movie. Ron Howard's a good director. He's a capable director, and he directs and delivers a fun Friday night, with your lady friend or your guy friend or your buddies. Just, it's fun. It's fun. And it's good to have in the collection. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, let me just scroll back here. Okay. Movie Chat and More says, do you think Martin Short steals the show in Father of the Bride? He was good. Absolutely. I haven't seen Father of the Bride in years. That was 92, 91, somewhere around there. Justin Thomas says, I already answered that. Okay, let me scroll back here. For those of you that are just coming in, again, if I don't answer your question, nothing personal. Okay. The Dave Cave. I like that. The Dave Cave. Hey, Dave. Good name. The Dave Cave says, you ever see any of the, what do you think going to the, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the Malevolent, I don't think I have. Sorry, I know what you're talking about, and I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have. I know what you're talking, and I don't think I have. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I don't think I have. Good question, though. It's complicated. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Do you like Pulp Fiction? Do you like Eastbound and Down? What would be your idea for a Friday the 13th film? Well, that's on my channel. You can certainly find that out. I like Pulp Fiction. I saw it. It came out in 1994, I believe, when I was 15. And I liked it. I can't remember loving it, but I certainly liked it. Okay, scrolling down here. The Texan! I'm assuming the Texan is from Texas? Wild guess. What do you think about Hollywood pushing certain political agendas? Seems like it's happening a lot here lately. Well, the major motion picture industry is there's a political nature to Hollywood anyway. Whether it's about egos, whether it's about getting jobs, whether it's about award shows, there's a political undertone to the entire industry anyway. So, and most of Hollywood is very left-leaning. You have, of course, your far left and your moderate left and your far right and your moderate right. Silicon Valley, of course, in San Francisco, very left-leaning. I mean, California, very sort of, although they did elect Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it's hard to answer in any detail. I just will say this. I don't give a frog's fat ass about who you voted for or what your stance is on Trump. However, that doesn't mean that you're not entitled to express that. You're more than entitled to do so. Yep, 100%. Yes, I agree. If you want to do that on your own Twitter, you are allowed to do that. If you want to do that on your own Instagram, knock yourself out. That might mean you might have some people unfollow you, but you are allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. Of course, 100%. When you're being interviewed for a specific project and there's a specific topic that we are discussing that has in and of itself nothing to do with where you fall politically, and that person happens to bring it around to their political beliefs, that is annoying. Yeah, that's annoying. But the reason why they do it is because they feel so emotional about it, and they know that the platform they're suddenly talking about this movie on is also a platform that millions of people are watching. So they use it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity, it's an opportune moment to express their, they got to get it out. The unfortunate part is that it's not the appropriate moment. Okay, so those are kind of my thoughts on it. But if they want to do it on their own time, launch it. If Jamie Lee Curtis wants to launch a YouTube channel and rip into it, go ahead. It's fine. But don't do it on Halloween's time, you know? And certainly don't put that shit into movies. I mean, if it's a political movie, that's fine. But don't put a political undertone into the movie just because you have something to say, you know? Okay, good question though. Hopefully I answered that as respectively as I can. Will Meyer says, "Hey Dave, congrats on the 12K. Thank you, Will. Who is your favorite Star Wars character after Han Solo?" Oh, I'm gonna say Darth Vader. Yeah, Darth Vader. Gotta go Darth. I like Yoda though too. I've come to like Yoda more and more because I understand him more and more. I mean, the deep-seated symbolism that he goes into. I like that shit. I've come to like that more and more now. But I gotta go Darth Vader. Yeah, he's classic. Come on! It's Darth Vader. Okay, Bay Ken says, "Hi, Jamie Lee Curtis aside, who's your favorite Scream Queen?" Oh, I'll probably go. I don't know if is she a Scream Queen? I'll go Heather Langenkamp. Yeah, I like Heather. I thought she was. Wes Craven said he casted her. One of the reasons why he cast her was because she had that, that typical girl next door sort of, sweet. Yeah, I think Heather Langenkamp would have made a great Laurie Strode. 100%. Not that Jamie Lee Curtis isn't iconic, and I'm not taking anything away from it, but if Heather Langenkamp had been cast as Laurie Strode, I think she would have been fantastic. But I don't know if Jamie Lee Curtis would have been able to transition into Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street. I think she could have done it, though. But I think the transition would have been more flawless to see Heather Langenkamp take on Laurie rather than Jamie Lee Curtis take on Nancy. And that's not a knock against Jamie Lee. Don't start thinking, oh yeah, no. I'm looking at this objectively, right? From their characters, their acting abilities, their performance, the look of the character, the stereotypes to the character. Yeah. I think it could have worked. But yeah, I'd have to say her. Okay. The Unknown says, if Halloween were to go straight to video after 6, after 6, yeah. Do you think the franchise would have died? Yes, 100%. I think what we have before would have lived on and on and on. But yes, I think it would have died a miserable death. Yes. Okay, just scrolling back here. 155 people still watching here. It's 8:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now is a good time to do this. I usually do this on these live AMAs. Now is a good time to do it. Where is everybody watching from around the world? Tell me where everybody is from. Do it now, and I will call it out, ladies and gentlemen. I will call it out, and then I'll scroll back and see if I can answer some questions. The UK, yes, of course. Tunisia, oh my goodness, USA, Mexico, Chicago, here we go. Chicago, England, South Bend, Indiana, Austin, Texas, USA, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Ireland, Rhode Island, New York City, Staten Island, Ohio, Hamilton, Ontario, just down the street from me. Palm Springs, California, Indiana, Orange County, California, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Baltimore, Greece. Oh my goodness, the Shire, New Jersey, Scotland, the Bronx, Columbus, Ohio, Philadelphia, go Flyers, and Gritty. That's right. Whoa, he looks crazy. My brother Bob is a huge Flyers fan. Gotham, Delaware, Dublin, Ireland, Detroit, Liverpool, Oakland, Wakanda, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the Death Star. Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, that's great. It's great to see everybody from around the world, even those overseas right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's like 1:30 in the morning for you guys there. But since it's a Friday night, hopefully you guys are you don't have to get up really early in the morning, and yeah, just great. Atlanta, Georgia, Buffalo, New York. Yes, this is so great. It's great to see where everybody's from. Texas, Liverpool, Columbus, Springfield, El Paso, Texas. Bronx, baby, New York City. Is it Mather, California? Big Rock, Tennessee. San Jose. Newcastle, Wisconsin, Kansas, is it Livonia, Michigan? Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Good job. Thanks for doing that. I love doing that. That's always fun. Okay, the Film Addict says, do you prefer Yoda in the prequels or the original? I prefer Yoda as a puppet in the original release of The Phantom Menace. I do not like The Phantom Menace, but I much prefer the puppet. Many of you may not know that in the DVD release of The Phantom Menace, I believe they CGI'd him for that. But if you watch, if you went to the theater to see The Phantom Menace in 1999, it was a puppet. It was a puppet. I thought it was great. It was great. But of course, I come from that era. So, Mike Cornelius says, have you ever heard about a possible Halloween TV show and Robert Englund reprising Freddy Krueger in the TV show The Goldbergs? I talked about the Halloween TV series, the potentiality of a Halloween TV series earlier in the broadcast, so you can go back and check that out. I did hear that Robert Englund would be reprising his Freddy Krueger role in a TV episode of The Goldbergs. What do I think of that? Why not? Sure. Why not? I mean, it'll be fun, right? Sure. Why not? Good nostalgia there. I'm sure it'll get some high ratings and it'll be all over YouTube and we'll be watching it going, Lewis Stephen says, Dave, did you like Jamie Lee Curtis in Drowning Mona? She was great in that dark comedy. Drowning Mona, is that the one with Danny DeVito? I don't know if I saw that whole thing. Oh no, Drowning Mona. Yes, I did see that movie. I did see it. I liked that movie. That was a weird movie, but that was funny. I did see it. Yeah, I like that movie. Yeah, I thought it was all right. Hey, there's somebody from Hollywood here too. Okay, Jordan Stevenson says, congrats on the 12K subs. I was wondering if you could do a video talking about the Psycho sequels, just giving your overall thoughts on them. Well, again, I don't do formal reviews on the channel, so I certainly wouldn't do a series, but I can tell you that I really like the first Psycho. I actually don't mind the second one. I wasn't crazy on the third and fourth one. I believe there's a fourth one, right? Yeah, I know, Anthony Perkins was back and he was in them. Well, he was in all of them. I think he even directed. Did he direct the second one or the third one? He directed one of them. Yeah, I mean, I much prefer, I gotta go classic, I mean, I enjoyed part two. I thought it was okay. It was interesting, but not crazy on, and I haven't seen them in years, so it's even hard for me to talk about them now. I'd have to watch them all and then talk about them. So maybe, I will say this, maybe one day my channel will grow into where I'm doing reviews, but as of right now in the foreseeable future, I don't want to set that expectation. I like to sort of be in control of the expectations and talk about what I'm really passionate about because I want to deliver quality over quantity. That's my goal anyway. Okay. Mr. Sketchdeck says, any love for Star Trek? Oh yeah, I love Star Trek. And I've grown to love Star Trek more over the years. My girlfriend and I, on a regular basis, at least a semi-regular basis, will turn on Netflix and we will watch some of the old series, and we'll watch some Generation as well. She used to watch Generation as a kid. I wasn't really into Star Trek as a kid, but I definitely can appreciate Star Trek more now. And the intellectual side of Star Trek, the cerebral side of Star Trek, more now than I was able to do when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was Star Wars. Because Star Wars is more glitz, it's more in your face, it's more, even though there is a very sort of cerebral angle to the original Star Wars trilogy, there absolutely is. Star Wars is sci-fantasy, right? So it's very glitzy and glamoury and in your face and wow and ships and battles, and Star Trek's a little more subdued. So I appreciate Star Trek more now. And I gotta say, I do like J.J. Abrams' Star Treks. I do like them. I do. I like them. I gotta say, I like them. I know a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans, hardcore Star Trek fans don't because they think they're too Star Warsy, but I kind of like them. J.J. Abrams he delivers fun movies. Anyway, okay, just scrolling back here. Third man, do you make a very good living being a voiceover actor? If comfortable, can you answer over 100K a year? Well, I'm not going to say what I make, but I will say that I do fine. Let's just say that. But I don't think it's appropriate to be talking about my finances. Kirk, and don't be offended. I just think, it's a good question. It's not that it's not a good question. I just think, I don't want to get into all that because I don't think it's appropriate for the medium. Kirk Rakestraw says, Dave needs to watch Cobra Kai. Yeah, I liked The Karate Kid. Growing up, I liked The Karate Kid. I was a fan of The Karate Kid, but I was never... It's like this. Like, I was a He-Man guy, and I loved He-Man. But then there are some people that are Transformers guys. And then there are some people that are both He-Man and Transformers guys. I like Transformers. I would watch it on occasion back in the 80s, but I was never a Transformers guy. So I've seen the first Transformers, 2007. I liked it. I saw the second one, didn't like it, and haven't seen any of the others, and don't care to, and don't feel like I'm missing anything. And I think the vast majority of you would probably agree with that. So, with Cobra Kai, it's like I liked The Karate Kid, but I was never really a huge fan of The Karate Kid. So the reason I haven't watched Cobra Kai is not because I'm against it, it's because it's not a natural, oh shit, I gotta check out Cobra Kai, right? Where some people are like, oh shit, I gotta check out Cobra Kai because you love it, right? And I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I just haven't got there yet. Okay, Jason Redux says, Jaws or Tremors? Oh, well, Jaws, obviously. I mean, if you're talking about, well, I guess it depends on the context of your question. Quality? Jaws. Jaws is one of the greatest motion pictures ever made. Tremors? Probably one of the greatest B-movie style, fun, popcorn, fluff, fart, the original with Kevin Bacon. It's great, right? But, you can't really compare them. It's apples and oranges. But it would depend on my mood in terms of watching it. Movie Chat and More says, Dave, do you like The Big Bang Theory? Nah, I can't say I do. It's a little too artsy fartsy for me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I no doubt it's a good show, and it's got its followers, but I've just never been able to sort of glom onto it. Third Man. What, the third man? You're the third man? So you're Michael Collins? No, Michael Collins was never on the moon. It was just Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. You're the third man. Third man is in the house. Do you watch / have any seasons of American Horror Story? Very hit or miss, but some good seasons. I gotta admit, I haven't really I've seen a couple of episodes, but I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest with you. And I don't, I don't know. I'm not into the shows per se, and I'm not saying they're not good shows. Don't take that as, he doesn't watch them because he thinks he's not going to like them. No, that is not the reason at all. It's just I haven't really gotten into the shows. It's funny. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. Robert Robert Pthitoff? Fitoff? One? I don't know how to say that name. Maybe I'm just totally blanking. Your thoughts on my favorite actor, Terry O'Quinn. I think he is the most underrated actor out there. Terry O'Quinn. That name sounds familiar. Can you tell me what movies he's been in? And then maybe I can put a face to the name. Schnip! Love that. Says, would you recommend people who haven't seen the franchise to only watch the original before seeing the new film? Seeing as how the family storylines and different timelines can be confusing to some. I assume you're talking about Halloween. I would say, I would just say watch the original. But if somebody's never seen it, and there's somebody that has grown up in this era of life, so if there's somebody that's like 20 years old, well, watching the original Halloween can be like when we were 20 watching a movie from, the 50s. It's dated. Regardless of how you look at it, Halloween is dated. It was a low budget then. It was a low budget horror movie then. It's dated. That doesn't mean it's not, it's not up in the echelons of one of the greatest horror movies of all time. So is Psycho. But 1960 Psycho in 2018 is dated. Some of the acting is dated. Some of the camera movements are dated. Some of the editing is dated. You got to call a spade a spade. Halloween, it's dated. I'm not saying it doesn't hold up. What I'm saying is that it's dated. So you have to, it all depends on the age range. If you're getting somebody who's, my age, 39, 40 and older, who's just never seen it, they might be able to just naturally appreciate the film and its, nuances and its charm for its time frame because of how old they are. But if you're introducing Halloween to somebody who's 15, somebody who's used to watching movies like, It Follows and Get Out and It, and they watch Halloween, they might be like, this wasn't scary. This is fucking boring. Do you know what I'm saying? So you may have to preface depending on the age group that we're talking about. But I have no doubt that, just show them the first one. Show them the first two. Or depending on how you feel about this new movie in a couple of weeks, show them one and then show them that one. That's what I would do. And then if they want to see the later sequels, well, then they can. But that would be my that would be how I would handle it. Okay, let me scroll here. Just looking for some people I haven't answered yet. John McSorley says, "Hey Dave, congrats on the 12K. Thanks, John. Thoughts on Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I'm looking forward to it. It's got a great cast. I gotta say, Tarantino films are hit and miss for me. Tarantino is quite an eccentric character, and he's a little artsy fartsy, and I'm not saying he's not a talented writer and a talented filmmaker. He is. But his films are hit and miss for me. Sometimes Tarantino's movies are a little too Tarantino, and I like his movies that are Tarantino, but that I don't know. There's just I can focus more on the story, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Tarantino film, but it's it's really good, and sometimes things are just a little too Tarantino for me, if that makes sense. So I'm looking forward to it. He got a great cast, and DiCaprio is fucking the shit right now. He's incredible, one of my favorite actors right now. So I'm looking forward on seeing what this is going to be all about. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, the whole Manson angle to that movie is taking a back seat. It's a minor subplot. It's not about the Manson murders. It's a story that takes place during the time period in 1969 when this was going on. I believe it was 69. So that Manson shit's going on it is going on while this other story happens to be going on. So it's not a Manson centric movie. We just have to be mindful of that. Okay. Targaryen. Aegon Targaryen must be something for games. Where do you think the strides were during H1, H2? Why didn't... Oh, the Strodes, you mean. Why didn't they visit Laurie in the hospital? I think it was probably... Well, first of all, the Strodes were... You have to keep in mind that you're watching a movie, okay, that is happening in one night. So remember the line in Halloween 2, we've been trying to get on the line to your parents, but they're not at the party that Dr. Mixter was at, and they're not home. So, we're still, and remember, this is a time without cell phones, right? So if you were not at the place where you were and you weren't at home, and you're in between that, it's not like they can get in touch with the parents. So, you have to keep in mind that we just didn't see that moment. It's very possible that we didn't see that moment. It's just they were on their way home, and who knows how long home was away from the party. And then they got home, and maybe the nurse didn't leave a message, or maybe they didn't have an answering machine. I mean, if you want to look at it literally, there's many reasons why the parents didn't come to see her at the hospital. And one of them is because they were at a Halloween party that night. Okay, 10 more minutes on this 12,000 subscriber celebration. I think you guys are awesome. Thanks for tuning in. And even if some of the trolls tuned in, the trolls are welcome. The trolls are welcome. Come on in and tune in. Call me something. Call me all the names in the books. I want to see it. Trolls never tune into this stuff. It's too bad. Legendary 23, Psycho or Black Christmas? Ooh. It depends. Are you asking what I think is a better movie? I don't know. I'd have to say, Psycho probably. Because Hitchcock was a genius in terms of how he crafts shots, how he sets things up. But what I want to watch would depend on my mood. I love Black Christmas, man. It's got some serious mood in there, And like I said, it's a Canadian movie, so it's, gotta good for the home team, right? Okay, just looking for some things I haven't answered here, or some people I haven't answered before in the last 10 minutes here, or at least ones I haven't focused on. Just scrolling back. Nerd Report says, Dave, hit me up while you're in Los Angeles. We are partners with the Chinese Theater in Hollywood, and I can get you in. Great place to watch Halloween. Nerd Report. Well, that's awesome. Well, if you're in, I don't know if I'll have time or remember that, but if you're in, or if you think of it during the time the convention is going on, feel free to reach out, and we'll see if we can make something happen. But of course, I can't promise anything. Okay, because I'm also there doing voiceover work as well. So, but that's a nice gesture. We'll cross that bridge and see what happens when it comes. Okay, let me see here. Anthony Jones says, dude, just wanted to say watching your videos have been really helping me through the toughest period of my life. Thanks for all the content. P.S. Empire rules. Well, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. I don't know what you're going through, and nor do you need to share it here. But just know that to stay strong, when you go through shit, whatever that is, it can be shitty. It's tough. It is really tough. But just try to do the best you can to say, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to think positively. It's going to suck, but just know, take your time. Whatever it is, tell yourself it's okay to feel the way I do. It's okay. It doesn't give you permission to be a dick to everybody, but it's okay to say exactly what you said. It's okay to say, it's okay that I'm going through this, and hopefully that'll help give you some, yeah, it's okay. I'm going to take my time, take a deep breath, and I'm going to get through this. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. It's always nice to hear from people who say that my videos help them in that way. That means a lot. The Shape 1978 says, Dave, what brand of coveralls do you use in your fan films? I don't know. They're the same coveralls I've been using for years, and I bought them at Walmart years ago. So I have no idea. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think they were Big Macs, if that's what you're searching for. Nathan Martinez says, hey, Dave, just wanted to share this with you, but I just wanted to share with you that my dad passed away in February, on February the 15th, and is anything I can do that I don't have, and is anything I can do that I don't have emotional moment? Are you asking me if there's anything you can do? Well, listen, my dad passed away in 2011. Both my mom and dad passed away in 2011, and my mom died of cancer in July, and my dad died of a massive heart attack that October, only 2.5 months apart from each other. Is there anything, if you're asking me if there's anything you can do to so you don't have an emotional moment, there really isn't. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to say it's okay. It's only been, 6 months, man? Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to be okay. Now, I was fortunate enough that I had a really good relationship with both my parents. But not everybody has a good relationship with their parents. If you do have a good relationship with your parents, ask yourself, what would my dad want me to do? Would my mom or dad want me to be here mourning for the rest of my life? Or would they say, you know what? It's okay. You got to live. You got to live on. And the best thing we can do to honor our parents, if we've had a good relationship with them, is to live out the rest of our days to the best of our abilities, because we know that that's what they would want. They would not want us to stand still. So there's not too much that I can say because I don't know the details of your situation, but just head up, and take your time. Take a deep breath. Okay, Super Soul Fried Disco. Love it. Love it. What's your favorite Michael Mann movie? I'm going to say Heat. Heat is my favorite Michael Mann movie. I love that fucking movie. I saw that movie in the theater when it came out. That came out in 1995. I was only 16, and of course you have to be 18 here to get into a rated R film. But of course I was 16 and I looked like I was 39, how I do now. So I saw that in the theater. That was awesome. Sean Calling says Terminator or Terminator 2. Oh, depends on my mood. T2 is great. But you know what? The more I watch the first Terminator, I'm like, this is good. And of course, it gives context to the first Terminator. My girlfriend loves the first Terminator 2. And she grew up with it because her sister was a big fan of it. And they used to recite dialogue back and forth. And you know, it's kind of cute. But she had never seen the first Terminator. So about a month or two ago, I sat her down and we watched the first Terminator. And she was like, oh, this is so cool because now it gives me context to what I always knew about the second one. And she thought it was good. She thought it was all right. I think T2 is a better movie overall because they had a bigger budget and, of course, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a lot of charm to that first Terminator film. Like, it was a low-budget sci-fi movie. And I think that's what they need to go back to in order for Terminator to be a success. Okay, 4 more minutes. Still 145 people watching. This is great. I think at our peak, we had close to 200, which is really awesome. Okay, Thomas and Angelina Demaro? Random question, but do you play video games? I'm not a gamer. I'm certainly not a gamer. You would never see me on here, you know, playing games, but I do have a PS4 and I like to play NHL hockey. I know that's really Canadian, but you know, I do. And I like to play GTA 5. Every now and then my buddy Bruce will come over to my place and we'll pop on GTA 5 and we'll just, you know, blow up shit and play, you know, all that kind of stuff. And that's fun to do. But I can't say, and I do like games, I do, but I wouldn't say that I'm a gamer, if that makes sense. Okay, Woven Winter. I like that name. I've been subscribed for a good few months now, and you become one of my favorite YouTubers. Your videos are fan-fucking-tastic. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I try to, I'm just talking. I'm just talking to the camera with a mic, and, you know, I let the chips fall where they may. That's why I leave the ability to comment open and the thumbs up or thumbs down, because I want people to be able to say whatever they want. I mean, if you start threatening my life, well, then maybe I'll have to remove, you know, the comments, but people can say they hate me all they want. They can say they hate what I do all they want. That's what, you know, that's what it's there for. Yeah, so I appreciate that you're one of the ones that likes my channel. Okay, Nathan, could you do an entire live stream as Freddie? That would be tough to do an entire live stream as Freddie. Ooh, my voice, I think, would be shot. Okay, 2 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Let me take a swiggle. I'm surprised that I didn't go... I have 2 bottles of water. I'm surprised that I've only gone like 3/4 of one. I don't know what's going on. Usually I need 2 to get through 2 hours of a live AMA. Okay. Michael Martinez, Haddonfield Reaper rocks. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. For those of you that don't know and haven't seen it, that's my most recent fan film. Spur of the moment, shot all on the Galaxy S9 Plus. And it had some post-production, of course, but if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Okay, Sue Alexander, this has been my Friday night. Awesome. Well, awesome, Sue. I'm so glad. And you're in the UK, so God, it's got to be almost 2 o'clock in the morning there. Okay, I will take one more question. We'll take one more question because we're coming up now on the 9 o'clock mark. So I will take one more question. I will look for somebody that I have not answered. Here it is right here. Oh, no, I guess I did answer a question. I did. Oh, okay. Okay. Just looking for the final question of the night, ladies and gentlemen. What will it be? What will it be? Well, here's one. Kyle's Comet. Most underrated film. Oh, most underrated film. I don't know, because most of film is subjective, obviously. Techniques are not necessarily subjective, because we can quantify that. But whether you like a movie or not is subjective at the end of the day. I'll say this. I uploaded a video today talking about Creed 2 and talking about Sylvester Stallone. And I will say this. I don't think Stallone gets the credit as an actor and as a writer and even as a director that he should. Now, I'm not saying that Sylvester Stallone should be on the Mount Rushmore of directors or writers or actors. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I think he's a very capable and talented actor. Now, granted, he knows that Rocky character inside and out. I mean, 40 years. He wrote that, essentially about himself. He was down on his luck. He sold his dog for like $20 or something ridiculous like that. He's been playing this character for 40 years. So he always gives a very compelling, believable, and genuine performance as Rocky Balboa. But to be able to give that performance, you got to dig deep. So I will say that I don't think Sylvester Stallone gets the credit that he deserves as an actor, as a writer, and as a director. I don't think he's, Martin Scorsese, but I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. He gets made fun. He gets made fun of a lot because, of course, he had that. When he was born, he was paralyzed. That's why his mouth sort of has, the droop, and he kind of sounds a bit funny. So he can sound like he's, not all there. But he's quite talented, in his own right. So that's what I'll say. Most underrated movie, though? I tried to use what you said and kind of bring it in, but I got to think about that. That's a loaded question, but it's a good question. That's why I wanted to come to you, because I wanted to ask me again, in a future AMA. See if you remember that and ask me again, because I think I'd love to answer that, because that would be a fun one to talk about. Okay, anyways, folks, my name's Dave McRae. Thank you for everybody who tuned into this special live AMA celebrating 12,000 subscribers. I think you guys are awesome. You guys rock. Sincerely, you do. I can't speak on everybody, on anybody else's channel, but I think I have some pretty awesome subs. So I think you guys are awesome. So yeah, in the meantime and in between time, if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, for those of you that don't, you can. The link is in the description, or will be in the description at the end of this broadcast. But it's facebook.com/manythingsdave McRae. McRae is MCRAE. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time when I'm not posting here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can as well. It's at The Voice Man. Man is with 2 N's, at The Voice Man. And you can follow me on Twitter there. And I'm trying to get into the habit of posting more on Twitter. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And I will talk to you guys soon with some more videos in the very near future. Halloween 2018, we're not far away. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me get set up here to turn this off. I always got to make sure I'm ready. Wait. Okay. There we go. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.